One's a Chiefs fan, the other's a Pats fan, and together they make Primetime Dimes.
What's up, my fellow football fanatics? Welcome back to episode 11 of Primetime Dimes, your weekly source for surviving the offseason and breaking down the headlines during the season. I'm one of your hosts, Chelsea, and with me as always is Milton. Hey, girl.
Hey.
We have a lot to cover this week with some league updates in the offseason and free agency. But before we get into that, we have some very big news. We are finally on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, so you can head to the link in our Instagram bio to check it all out. You can listen, subscribe, follow, and leave a review. We did just get a really nice review from one of our listeners, so a shout out to whoever that was. You are a gem. That was so sweet. It really warmed my heart, honestly.
It did.
Was just a nice thing to wake up to over the weekend. And then we do also have a website. I think we announced that on social media, but since the last episode, we have launched the website as well, www.primetimedimes.com, so you can listen there too. So very exciting. Lots of updates for you guys from us. And let's get into some league updates. So first and foremost, mandatory minicamps have come to a close this past week. So I think that ended on the weekend.
Yeah, each camp, because it started at different times, all basically ended at different times, but they took place over 4 days per team, 4 to 5 days.
I think a lot, and not a lot was said during those mini camps. So it was very interesting to see how they all played out and like who did and didn't show up.
Yeah. I like mini camps for sure. I think it's really nice to see some of these players in their new homes.
I love seeing all the rookies get excited to like be on the training camp grounds. It's so cute. Right. And then we had another fun update from the NFL, or I guess Madden. The new Madden cover came out, and I've never been so happy and so disappointed at the same time.
Man, I called it too. I love Madden. Yeah. I cannot wait to play Madden 22. I've been playing Madden 21 in my very limited free time recently. I love the game, and with Rodgers being kind of uncertain, you and I started chatting back and forth about the fact that they were going to change the cover or change who the athlete on the cover is. Yeah. And I said Tom and Pat. I said it's going to be Goat and Baby Goat. And you were like, it could be someone else. No, you did throw out a few really random and very far-fetched type ones.
I just wanted to see Trevor Lawrence on the cover. I know he hasn't played yet, but I still think he should be there.
One day, you will see your boy as the cover for Madden.
He made the I saw the little trailer they made for the game, and they had Trevor Lawrence in there with like his long hair throwing, and I was like, oh, like I want to buy this just so I can watch it. Like I am terrible at Madden. I had someone try to teach me how to play, and I got so frustrated that I kept going like offside until they turned off the game. So I don't play Madden. I love doing like the drills in the game, but it gets into the game mode, and I'm so confused and so lost.
I'm gonna
just like fuck it.
I'm gonna probably stream it maybe under our own channel at one point, just like that intro and some of the like more face of the franchise type things. So basically you can create a player or be a current player and travel from high school through a story mode up to the league. And I don't know why, I just get super pumped playing those games, and I find them a ton of fun.
Yeah, I would watch you play that.
Yeah, but in real sports.
Yeah. Let's dive into some other things that's been happening over the mini camp off season. So we have Zach Wilson, the new quarterback for the Jets, has been really impressing his team at mini camps. And I don't know about you, but I feel like it's not that hard to impress the Jets.
No, not at all. I hope they have a QB this time.
I think they're just like really like they've put all this faith into Zach Wilson. Like, oh, Zach Wilson's got it. He's gonna, but it's like he's not the only player. I know you're excited for him and he's good, but
No,
You
and
gotta put your work in too.
people seem to be forgetting that this exact same hype was surrounding Darnold. Like, Darnold has a strong arm that was, and I say was, pinpoint accurate. Like, he had his concerns, as all rookie QBs have, but he was a first round draft pick. He was highly drafted, and he never lived up to expectations, but no one talks about the fact that like the Jets had no offensive line. So he started seeing ghosts real early in his career. And for those of you who might not understand what I mean by ghosts, it's kind of when the QB starts sensing pressure and gets rid of the ball way sooner than they really have to, likely off target or to the wrong read. And I think we're really jumping on this Zach Wilson train real too quick.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm excited. Like, I'm happy that his teammates are happy to have them. I think that'll bring the Jets morale up because I feel like they're just cursed, honestly. I don't remember a time when it was good there.
I agree. Well,
So uh,
you could argue the days with Mark Sanchez as quarterback were
yeah.
okay because they did win a couple playoff games, including one against my lovely Patriots. But
Okay.
no, it has been bleak.
Yeah, okay, yeah, more or less the point I'm making. It's definitely been bleak there. So it's nice to see that they have this glimmer of hope with Zach Wilson, but I'm very fearful that he's going to be one of those QBs that enters the league and flops more or less just because of the team he went to, which is really sad to see.
I absolutely agree with you there.
But yeah, let's move on. We have Jamal Adams, the safety for the Seahawks. He has 1 year left on his contract with them, and they are looking to have a deal come up on the table for him. And it's looking like it's going to be before camp starts, so that's some good news for Seahawks. They're going to get Jamal Adams for another year. He has $9 million on his last year of his contract, so he's definitely not sitting that money out, obviously. And they're looking to put the deal through now before he becomes a free agency, so it doesn't look like he's gonna go anywhere, which is good news for the Seahawks.
Yeah, this one caught me off guard. And I don't know if it was just that I haven't been paying as much attention to football this week. It's just been really busy at school.
I got you.
And he actually, for those of you who probably forgot, used to play for the Jets. And I believe this contract he's currently on is still from when he was the Jets, like he got traded.
Oh, damn.
And I don't know if it was if it was some sort of controversy, if there's any drama that people actually believed he was going to leave the Seahawks. Like, he handpicked the Seahawks. Like, he was, of course this was going to get done, and I'm super happy for him. I still hope the Seahawks lose, and I hope he has it just as bad as he did with the Jets, because I think he forced his way off of the Jets and was a crybaby. But man, he's a hell of a player.
Hey man, he got what he wanted, so you can't be too
Exactly.
mad at him. And then we have Tyrann Mathieu, the Honey Badger, went to social media this week and said he wants to retire as a Chiefs player. Hopefully, they can hold on to him. I don't see that being too much of a problem. Like, I don't think he has many years left in him, which is unfortunate. He is a great safety. I was really sad when we let Eric Berry go because he was one of my favorite Chiefs players. But, we did replace him with Tyrann Mathieu, so I don't know how mad I can be about that because the Honey Badger is like probably one of the reasons we made it to the Super Bowl twice. He was like one of the key pieces we needed for sure, and not to say that Eric Berry wasn't good. He was at the age where he was starting to get injury prone, so we needed someone a bit younger. So happy to have him stay. Hopefully we can make that happen.
Yeah, I bet you the whole reason he even said that and came out and said that was due to Levon Bell's comments about Coach Andy Reid and the culture. Not to say he doesn't mean it. He absolutely does. You can just tell how happy he is there, especially since he used to play for the Cardinals. And oh boy, he was always phenomenal. Like, he is a perennial all-pro, I believe. Like, he understands this game in a way that's kind of unmatched by any other safety. So
he's such a good leader on like the back end of the defense. Like, he's always pumping them up. Like, I love listening to his mic'd up because he's not one of those guys on mic'd up that's like, ooh, look at me go, look at me do this. Like, he is very still in the zone, still motivating his teammates. So he's just a all around great player. So keeping him is something I'd love to see Andy Reid do too. So.
Yeah, as long as he doesn't cost you guys
And
too much.
yeah, and Le'Veon Bell did come back this week and say he regretted posting what he did to social media, but he still means it. Like, he
Yeah.
doesn't take that. He went about it the wrong way for sure, and he acknowledged that, but he still stands behind what he said. So I said last week, I still think it's because they didn't utilize him the way they should have.
Yeah, that
And I
was a
think
great
he just
point.
he wants to start somewhere, and it's not going to be Kansas City. So he is looking to go elsewhere. He is a free agent. He only had 1 year in Kansas City. But we'll move on to some good news for Texans fans.
Oh, they need it.
Yeah, the new Texans offensive tackle Marcus Cannon recently underwent minor knee surgery. He's said to be feeling good. The operation isn't likely to affect his participation in training camp. So not only is he saying he's going to be back for preseason, he's going to be back for training camp. So that's
Good.
I think earlier than they were expecting. So that's really good news for the Texans that he'll be able to go to attend the training camps and be like well prepared for the season when it starts.
Yeah, that's super key for the Texans. Marcus Cannon's going to bring a ton of calmness and sense of security to that offensive line.
So a lot of chaos going on in that organization right now. So I think this is something that they can, band around and be happy about over in Texas.
Yeah, I mean, the major complaint from Watson last year was that he had no protection, and it's like Marcus Cannon will help solidify that line. Absolutely, no question.
And then we will touch on it because it's still a big question mark.
No.
Aaron Rodgers, there have not been any significant developments, so we are not going to talk too much about him today. We seem to just get into it whenever we bring his name up. He has the mini camps are done. He didn't attend a single one. He's been MIA for the entirety of the team's offseason program. And that's it. They more or less think that and nothing's really going to be reached until late July. So I think that's probably the next time we will be talking about Aaron Rodgers. I think it's all going to be very hush-hush until this deal hits the press.
Can't wait for this to be over.
Yeah, I can't wait for this to get started. It's all just side chatter. I want talks. I want
just
deals.
want the end result.
I want them to go to the table. I want to know what's going on.
Yeah, I just want the answer.
And then lots of good news this week, man. Lots of good news. The doctor, not only did we get news that he is coming back for the Chiefs, LDT was among the finalists for the ESPN Muhammad Ali Sports Humanitarian Award. What a guy. How can you not love this man?
He fascinates me. Like, I just hope for everything he like wishes for it to come true, because that man's a saint. Yep. He's just a saint.
Everything life has to offer him, honestly.
Yeah.
There's not much else there other than he was one of the finalists for that award, and I think it was worth the shout out. And then lastly, coming out of the mini camps, we saw a lot of Justin Fields working with Andy Dalton. He said he's learning a lot from him, and he's really appreciating the time that Andy Dalton's taking to teach him, staying with him after practice, doing extra plays with him. I think it's really showing like this human side of Andy Dalton. I don't think we really get to see that side of him very often, other than just the quarterback that's been moving around, right? So it's really nice to see him kind of like take him under his wing, and like just like watching this is just all so weird because of what happened during the draft. Like right before the draft, they picked up Andy Dalton, they promised him a start, and now the Bears went and drafted Justin Fields, but they're still telling Andy Dalton he's going to start. But I guess this takes us into our topic for the week, which is we're going to talk about 5 quarterbacks with question marks around them, and right off the bat it was Andy Dalton. They did offer him how many years was it?
Oh, I don't remember his contract, but
I can't remember how many years it is, but they offered him, I don't think it was many years, but it might have been 1 or 2, like not very long. I'm not too sure. But they offered him a contract, And like one of the contingencies on that contract is he would be a starter. And they signed this, a week
1 year, 10
before the
million.
draft. That's it. I knew it wasn't very long.
Yeah.
So they have him for 1 year. And then they went and drafted Justin Fields at number 11. I'm pretty sure they traded up for that too. And then also, if you didn't know this, Nick Foles is still on their roster. So they have 3 quarterbacks.
Yeah, no, I remember that.
I just don't know what the Bears are trying to do here. I know that they've promised Dalton the start. They're going to give it to him no matter how bad the ship is sinking. I don't know what this means for if Justin Fields is going to get any time on the field this year.
Oh, absolutely he will.
I think they're going to be very stern in letting Andy Dalton start all of the games. How long he stays on that field, I don't know. I don't see Justin starting this year just because of that promise. I feel like the Bears are like, either they're just really playing us up on social media being like, Andy Dalton's going to start, or they are just setting this man up for like the biggest fake out ever and just being like, just kidding, it's going to be Justin Fields.
No, like Andy Dalton's going to be their starter for the start of the season. Absolutely.
But you think by
Justin
the end
Fields,
of the season,
if Andy Dalton doesn't perform quote unquote perfectly, Justin Fields will be it. Because why not? If you're not going to make the playoffs, right? Hypothetically, if you're not making the playoffs and Andy Dalton's only with you for 1 year, okay? Why keep him on the field? You put your rookie quarterback in and start seeing what he's made of. Start figuring out where is his weak spots. What can you do? How can you improve them? Let's put him in situations that, well, you know, he might not face again. He might face in the middle of the Super Bowl. Like, you start getting that QB experience. Now, Nick Foles, I don't think Nick Foles is on this roster come midway through the season.
You think
if
they're
Justin
trade him
Fields
before training camp?
No, because you need to see what you have with Justin Fields. Now, I think they have a stud with Justin Fields. I'm sure you also tend to agree Justin Fields is going to be great or decent. Like he will be a starter in the NFL.
He's going to be good. Absolutely. And he will be a starter in the NFL. I hope it's with the Bears because I don't want him to see him come over to my division.
Yeah, so it's like if he's doing all right, if Justin Fields is doing all right.
Yeah.
Then Nick Foles gets shipped off elsewhere, kind of probably discreetly, nothing too big. Get him and his contract off of your books. Then if Andy Dalton slips, as the Red Rifle does, you throw Fields in, like barring like an offensive line that is as bad as we see with Cincy.
I mean, I'm just kind of mad because I was campaigning last year that Nick Foles should be, a starting quarterback. I still believe Nick Foles deserves to be a starting quarterback. And it feels like on this team, he went from being the starter to third string. And maybe he just knows he's being traded. Like he knows he's going to get traded somewhere because they picked up Justin Fields. But I just wanted to note that I do feel bad for Nick Foles in this situation because like I feel like he just doesn't have anywhere to go right now. Like where would he go?
But also, anytime he's been given a chance since winning the Super Bowl, he has failed. Like, nothing against Nick Foles, but like, besides from the Super Bowl, which he potentially would never have been involved in if it weren't for Carson Wentz getting injured. Mm-hmm. What else has Foles done? He went to the Jaguars. He did a couple good games. He had a few good games, but he still got beat out by Gardner Minshew.
When was he at the Jags?
Wasn't he with the Jags immediately? Like, isn't that where he went?
I know he bounced around for a little bit. I just don't remember seeing him in a Jags jersey. So one of us could be totally wrong.
I could be wrong.
You're right. He did bounce around somewhere for a little bit before he ended up on the Bears. I just remember being so happy for him when the Bears finally decided to start him. Because I was like, yes, give him a chance. I guess he messed it up. I just don't really watch Bears games last year. So I guess he did not do very well. Okay. You wouldn't have
I was right.
Okay, good.
So after Philly, it was the Jaguars where he failed miserably. I thought that was the case. And then he got beat out for the job by Gardner Minshew. Yeah, I'm saying the last name right.
My baby.
Yes. And then he was traded to Chicago, where he got an opportunity to play.
Okay.
And then
Yeah.
he was originally back up to Trubisky, and then he was named the starter early in the season, and then he lost the job back to Michael Trubisky or
I
Mitchell
remember this now.
Trubisky. So at this point, no offense to Foles, and I do respect him for still beating the Patriots in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
He's had his chances and he has not shined. I don't believe he is a starter in the
Aw.
NFL anymore.
I
I think he
guess,
can still win you a Super Bowl, though. Like, I think he being a backup quarterback is a very safe bet, a very good
Oh yeah. Like it's
backup.
if you have to go to your backup and it's Nick Foles, you're not worried. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Usually when a team has the quarterback injury, everyone's like biting their nails because it's like, I don't know how this guy's gonna do, but we're gonna hope for the best. You throw Nick Foles in there, you don't have to worry about shit.
Yeah,
But yeah,
exactly.
I guess with the Bears, we're gonna have to see how true to their word the coaching staff is about keeping Andy Dalton as a starter, how long that stays like that for, and how much time Justin Fields will get on the field, and where Nick Foles ends up. So we actually have like 3 quarterbacks in here with a lot of question marks around them.
Yeah.
But then moving on from him, I just think it was funny for our next one how, last week we were talking about people wanting to leave, and all of a sudden this week we have people saying how much they want to stay on their teams, like Tyrann Mathieu, and then we also had Derek Carr saying he would rather quit. Like, he would rather retire than play for any other team. He's like, I'm going down with the boat. I'm like, that's so great of you. However, is that how you want to be remembered? As like, it got so bad that you just retired?
I know, right?
That's how I'm going to think of it, is that I would love to see him, go somewhere else and give it another go. I feel like Derek Carr is still a really good quarterback. It's just like I said last week, we have a player who's successful on an unsuccessful team, right?
Yeah, I think Derek Carr is a starter in the NFL at quarterback. However, I think he is the type of quarterback that he is maybe a little below average or average, and he does need a better team around him to help him reach his potential. I really do like Derek Carr. I genuinely have wanted this dude to do well, but it feels like he'll make a throw and it's the right throw to make, so it's the correct read to make, but the throw is, completely outside the numbers instead of it being inside the numbers. Or he goes, does his progressions, makes his read, throws a beautiful ball to the wrong the wrong read. Like, so it's never seems like he puts it all together.
Like, very in his head at times, maybe. I don't know. I think he's just like, he has a lot to handle there on the Raiders. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like he's just like constantly picking up all the slack almost, and it's like still not working for him. And it's just so heartbreaking to see. And then I think all of this kind of surfaced when the Aaron Rodgers rumors started happening. So Vegas was like, oh, let's, try and get Aaron Rodgers. Like, maybe we could trade Derek Carr. And Derek Carr's like, I am absolutely not going to Green Bay. I will, like you said, I will retire before leaving the Raiders. So, and I think that's honestly kind of just sad, because like, I feel like let's say that hypothetically, let's just say, and I don't think this would ever happen, Aaron Rodgers goes to the Raiders. I personally don't think that they have enough to entice Aaron Rodgers to want to come play there. I don't know how much they can think that Aaron Rodgers can fix that team with like the little time he has left to play in the league. But like, let's just say that happens and like Derek Carr retires.
Yeah.
He has like years left in him. Why would you do that to yourself? And then this is something where I would see, if this happens, I don't think this is going to happen, if this happens, if he retires, let's say in 2 years he comes back.
Well,
right? Like, that's something else we've been seeing a lot too, is people just, I'm not getting where I want to get with this team. There aren't really any other teams that want me, so I'm just going to retire for now.
Yeah, I don't know if that's what he would do exactly, because his brother's an analyst for the NFL. You have, I think it's David Carr. I'm pretty sure it's David Carr. and Derek Carr has obviously guested on like ESPN and NFL Network. So I feel like he's kind of gearing up to join the analyst side of things. He is very intelligent when it comes to breaking down the game. He is very much referred to as a quarterback who is a cerebral quarterback like Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers and some of the other GOATs. So he sees the game in the same manner that like a Tony Romo could describe it. So like how we have RG3, who is a backup quarterback or was a backup quarterback in the league. He's being compared to the current Tony Romo. I think Derek Carr would be the next logical quarterback to move over to an analyst type role with Tony Romo.
Would love to see that. I'm not gonna lie.
Exactly.
But then let's move on now because we really don't know what's gonna happen if Derek Carr's gonna go down with the ship or maybe. I feel like when it comes down to it, if he ends up getting sort of like edged out of the Raiders, I feel like he will go to another team. Like I feel like maybe in his heart he's just like, I'm not ready to.
Yeah.
Like this is not my time, even though this is my time with the Raiders. Or it's just going to be very hard for him to retire and then possibly move over into sports analyst. But let's move on now to our next quarterback because honestly, this one in my opinion, should not be here anymore. It's
like in the
Big
league
Ben.
or
yeah, I think Big Ben needs to get the fuck out of here. In my personal opinion, I think that was a shoulder injury. I think that shoulder injury that two seasons ago he should have been done. Like if I were him, I would have been gone. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's really funny.
And it's so funny because the Pittsburgh Steelers are literally like their offensive coordinators like, whatever Ben wants to do, we're going to do it. And I'm like, I understand that he is a long-standing quarterback in the NFL. I understand he has all of the experience. But they need some fresh meat. They need some fresh meat at quarterback, in my personal opinion.
Oh yeah,
my very unprofessional personal opinion. They need a new quarterback.
There are a lot of former offensive rosters that team has had that I still cannot believe they didn't get a Super Bowl with. Like, how do you have Bell, Brown, and Juju and not get a Super Bowl? Man, they screwed up with their roster, and every Steeler really fan knows it. Like, every Steeler knows it.
Like, I don't even think they're like I don't think anyone even refers to them as like was it them? They were the Iron Curtain or the Steel Curtain or whatever it was. Was that the Steelers?
Yeah, but like that's they're more like defense.
But it's just like they don't even like get referred to as that anymore. You know what I mean? It's just like they've truly fallen from the pedestal they were on. Or given. I want to say they were given it. Because they just had all these star-named players and didn't go anywhere.
But, like, I think the pedestal was deserved. Like, the Steelers do have 6 Super Bowls. Like,
that's true.
They definitely deserve to be on the pedestal, and Ben Roethlisberger has done very well by the Steelers. I think our disdain or our dislike of Ben Roethlisberger as a person and our dislike of the Steelers kind of clouds our judgment because like I do think it's deserved what he has done. I just like to mock that team, and I think I think other quarterbacks could have done more with what he had provided for him as weapons.
Exactly. I agree with you on that. His team could have done way more with a different quarterback.
Yeah. But I'm not surprised at all that he is being given the mantle and let run with it. Like, of course, he still consistently gives you 8 wins. And now, probably 9 wins now. Like, he is consistent, he is reliable, and maybe they just don't have other quarterbacks that they like.
I'm just scared that they're going to end up in the same boat as the Cowboys. Had a lot of Super Bowl wins in the past, and now they just kind of don't know what to do with themselves. Like, they try, and they have a couple good players, but they're never up there, you know?
Yeah, but that's like a good thing for our teams.
I know, but still.
But yeah,
I have
like I would agree. I would agree with you. Like the
I have
Steelers.
one of my favorite college players got drafted to this team, and I hate that he's on this team because I don't like watching the Steelers play now.
Yeah. Yeah, it can
It's
be
just
boring
like
football
it's
sometimes.
but it's just like it's a being a Steelers fan is just like the biggest, I think it's like the most underrated roller coaster ride because it's like last season just went up, 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 and then you just dropped right down. And I think they've just been like that on this like sort of up and down roller coaster for the past few years. And I don't know why they can't shake it and be consistent. Like they were almost consistent last year. They were consistent for the first half of the season, and then all of a
Over the
sudden
first half.
I don't even, yeah, 11 games,
11 and
11,
0.
11 and 0,
And
and
then
then lost 4 games in a row. Like what
yep.
what happened there, right? And it's just like, how
It's
did
their
you not keep
coach.
that? Because then you have other teams who, go like
I
they
don't
only
like
have
their
like
coach.
2 losses, right? And
Yeah.
I feel like all of those losses were like close or like very disappointing games. You know what I mean? It's like it's things they could have won but didn't, and that's where I feel like they're gonna be in the same boat as the Cowboys. Just
Oh,
because like
definitely.
it's I feel like we're just in an era of disappointment
Until they
from
move on from their coach.
the coach and the quarterback. I think need to change in Pittsburgh before they get their mojo back.
Yeah.
But
Well, I
then
mean, but like their coach is literally being touted as like one of the better defensive minds. And like he doesn't do anything for their defense, and their offense does what it's supposed to do. So it's one of those where it's like, come on, coach, you can do
yeah,
more.
it's like I it's not entirely broke there, but it could definitely use some fixing.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I think is where I'm trying to go with that. But moving on to the next quarterback we have, I guess this is more or less a good question mark. It's Sam Darnold going to the Carolina Panthers.
I love it. I'm super sad
Yeah.
for Teddy Bridgewater. He's the current QB. He sustained a gruesome knee injury in like 2013 when he was with the Vikings.
I don't know who he was with.
I forget who he was with, but it was really bad, and it was after he had just had a great sophomore season. And I had been rooting for him. I got actually Ryan a Vikings jersey with Bridgewater on it. So yes, he did play
Nice.
for the Vikings.
There you go.
And
Put that in your background.
so I really do hope Bridgewater is the starter, but Darnold has
I
been
want Darnold.
like absolutely shit talked and run through the mud and literally run out of a city for things that were
Yeah.
outside of his control. Like at no point when I watched Darnold play did I think he couldn't play quarterback. I
Yeah.
was thinking, oh, he is scared in the pocket, rightfully so.
I mean, I don't think this should have to be a redemption from him, but I really want this to be his redemption season. I want him to do well
I agree.
on the Panthers, and I want to see it. Like I'm hoping for it, So this is like a very exciting question mark for me because I'm just like I can't wait to see how he does. And honestly, if he flops, I'm probably just gonna be a little bit heartbroken because I was very excited. I'm just like ramping myself up for it,
Oh wait, no, he's going to have to be the starter because Bridgewater would have been traded
Did he trade
to
somewhere?
Denver.
Yeah, he is traded to Denver, so he will start. Like I said, everything else I said stands true. I really hope that he pops off. This not even pops off, just does good. You know what I mean? Just a nice, good, consistent season, and anything above that will be even better. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I have no idea why I still had it in my head that Bridgewater was with the Panthers because like now I'm super happy.
Looking at it right in front of me as you were talking about who's going to be 1 and 2, and I'm literally looking at Teddy Bridgewater to Denver.
Yeah, no, that's 100% my bad. And it was one where it's like I still agree, like I still believe what I was saying about Bridgewater, but I'm so happy the dude got traded.
We just need to stop recording on Mondays because Mondays hit me like a freaking train.
Yeah.
It just comes. But yeah, very, very excited to see Sam Darnold play for the Carolina Panthers. Not much else to talk about there, except, I hope he does. I hope he takes them somewhere, And then last but not
Or is
least,
given a chance.
yes, I'm just, given a chance, I think is
Yep.
is the most exciting part is that, and I think I hope he's going to do well with this chance. And then we'll move on to our last quarterback for the episode. So best for last.
Yeah, best for last for you.
Gardner Minshew. I love Gardner Minshew. He's just, how can you not love this man?
I'm glad he cut his hair.
So yeah, he knows he is not going to be the starter here in Jacksonville. We have Trevor Lawrence coming in, first pick of the draft, going to the Jags. They both have the long flow, and Minshew was like, it is Lawrence era, and chopped his hair off. So he is like well known that his time there is done. Does he stay there as their backup? Does he move on to another team? I'm not too sure who else they have there at QB, but we know that Trevor Lawrence is starting right off the bat. There is no training under Minshew. Minshew is probably learning a couple tricks from Trevor Lawrence,
Absolutely. He's probably soaking it up. Like, that's all you have to do, right? At this point, you suck up all the time you have with quarterbacks that are better than you in order to hopefully compete to be a starter on another team. Like, I do think eventually he'll leave because you have CJ Beathard. I can never say his name properly. You have him backing up Lawrence, and that's similar to how over in Patriot Land we have number 2, what's his face? But like we have the constant backup who we always sign him back for 1 year. It was
just in case.
Yeah, it would be the same as like when you had Dwayne Haskins kind of signed as a backup role to Ben Roethlisberger. Like, you just know that these players are going to move around and that you have well-known backups that kind of keep things calm and keep you safe if you have an injury to that starter. And that's I think Gardner Minshew is probably a starter somewhere else. He's someone you can rely on.
Yeah.
So he doesn't have to fill in that like proper
He's gonna
consistent
have like
backup
so
role.
much fun this year, just goofing around on the sidelines, cheering on Trevor Lawrence, trying to make his deal happen so that he can go be a starter somewhere. And I agree, I do see him as a starter somewhere. I don't think there's much to say about that other than whether they keep him or not. I'm just excited that Trevor Lawrence gets to work with Gardner Minshew. He's just he's a great guy. He's a great quarterback. I do think Trevor Lawrence could learn a thing or two from him, but I think Gardner Minshew's doing more learning than Trevor is.
Well,
to be quite honest.
T-Law's gonna learn from Gardner in the sense of what the Jags expect on a day-to-day basis and XYZs of just being a pro.
Like
that's what he'll learn.
Your tour guide for the team.
Yeah. But I guess that's all that we have for episode 11. So thank you very much for tuning in. And don't forget that now you can find us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, as well as YouTube. Now, please follow, download, like, subscribe, and leave us a review. Did I forget anything, Chelsea?
No, that's all. I think that's all the things you can do with our episodes.
Perfect. Anyways, all of our links can be found at our website, www.primetimedimes.com. And next week, I'm really excited because we actually get to move back to our college episodes because it's the last week of the month. And this is our second college football episode. And, you were sending me college games to check out, and it's getting me quite pumped for some college games this upcoming season.
Sent you some podcasts, sent you some games to watch. We have a lot of updates to go through because there's been quite a few updates. We've seen some footage of Arch Manning at a couple colleges.
I can't wait.
He still has 2 years left in high school, and he's already being ranked as like 4 or 5 stars on some sites.
He's going to be a 5-star QB, let's be honest.
Come his senior year, I don't doubt he'll be a 5-star quarterback entering the college portal pool.
Absolutely.
Voting process, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I'm very excited to get into next week. Lots of updates to go through, and lots of more things to talk about college-wise.
Perfect. Well, I can't wait, and I'll chat with you next week.
Bye.
Take care.
Listen in to Primetime Dimes every Wednesday for your latest on football.